The headlines. Reaction continued to trail Supreme Court's ruling over 2023 presidential election. Katsina State government insists no negotiation with bandits. Police parade alleged killer of 58-year-old woman in Gombe State. And from the international scene, Israel ground forces carry out overnight raid into central Gaza. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. Now, President Bola Tinubu's first reaction to the Supreme Court ruling validating his election on Thursday was that Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence and constitutional democracy have been consolidated. The president welcomed the verdict of the Justice John Okoro-led panel of the Apex Court, pointing out that justice had been done to all issues put up for consideration in the petitions on the merits of the law without fear or favor. Surrounded by elated well-wishers, the president pledged to continue in efforts to put the country back on the path of recovery. Kende Amodu reports.
This is the moment the Supreme Court validated the election of Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria.
Congratulations, Your Excellencies.
The relief is palpable. Well-wishers congratulate themselves on the victory, cracking jokes.
As I was walking down, I was listening to it on phone.
Unanimous, no dissenting.
7-0. Yes.
But underneath the light-hearted banter is a resolve by President Tinubu to reposition the country.
And it is important that we recognize that we have no other country but this one. So we better be committed to it, not for the sake of our own self-aggrandizement. Our commitment to the values, the creed of dedication, patriotism, and commitment to the value of this country.
So after the victory at the Supreme Court, what comes next?
Opposition should just sheath their sword, support the government of the day. If Mr. President succeeds, it is Nigerians that succeed.
Now, our president can now be focused on the task of governance. All the distractions are behind him. He has a lot of work to do. He's assumed this office at a time where audacious and bold decisions had to be made, which he has made them. He now has to keep his eyes on the ball and continue with his implementation plan in line with the Renewed Hope agenda.
The highest, judicial body in our country has expressed themselves, very clearly. And there were no dissenting voices. It was all 7 of them that were on the same page. And so what that tells us is that whatever might have been a difference, let's put that behind us.
There are those that believe this Supreme Court judgment makes Nigeria a democracy destination in Africa, where electoral disputes are resolved through the judiciary.
This has indicated that democracy is getting matured in Nigeria because politicians, after election, instead of resorting to, infight, resorting to causing confusion, we resort to the judiciary, and this is what this has shown that democracy is in action.
Democracy is a full exercise, and you can see the exercise started, from the primaries to the elections to the court cases, and now it's over. So I think it's now time for everyone to get together so that we can rebuild our country.
Now that the virulent debate over who truly won the 2023 presidential elections has been put to rest, these players believe it is time to put the agitations behind and move ahead as a united country. From State House Abuja, Kende Amodu, Trust TV News.
The residents of Yola, the Adamawa state capital, are divided along party lines following the Supreme Court's judgment affirming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory in the 2023 presidential election. Now, while members of the People's Democratic Party described the Apex Court's verdict as appalling and disappointing to Nigerians, the loyalists of the All Progressive Congress, the APC, said that the verdict is a victory for all Nigerians. Salis Lawan has the report.
Reacting shortly after the Supreme Court judgment, some Yola residents said recent development in the nation's judiciary do not affirm the notion that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. A member of the People's Democratic Party, Yakubu Jona, said Nigerians are still at a loss as to how the Supreme Court condoned the serious issues of forgery, falsehood, and perjury put forth by the petitioners in the case.
Judgment is just a mere rubber stamp rubbish because we don't agree with the judgment. It was not a fair judgment and it is a wrong judgment because there are so many evidences that can disqualify the president, but we know he cannot be disqualified because he has spent a lot to the judiciary, he has spent a lot to the politicians, he has spent a lot to the security. This is for sure. We know that nothing will come out of that judgment, so we expected it.
However, members of the All Progressive Congress welcomed the Supreme Court judgment.
So I think the court has done a lot, and given the state that they have to operate under a difficult atmosphere, it's yet another historic moment for us, and I think we should give the Nigerian judiciary another form of kudos. It was indeed a nice one.
We are very satisfied and happy. But we have to say one or two for him as the president. They have to know that as a president, he's not a president of APC alone. He is a president of any party member in Nigeria and even people that are not partisan. And he has to be united, both south and east, and make sure he call all these aspirants that they have went to the court together and sat with them and called them so that to support him in making Nigeria forward.
They passionately appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to seriously work on the economy to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians.
But we hope he is going to change. Now that the judgment is over, he has no distraction now. No distraction at all. He should now consolidate. He should now focus on how to make Nigerians eat at least twice a day. People are going hungry. People are hanging themselves. People are dying of hunger. Small sickness, you go to the hospital, you just die. It's hunger. There is hunger in the country. You should address that. If you address that, the common man has no any problem.
Please, our government have to look into it. We are buying dollar today 1,250 and still be increasing. So please, I call to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has to look for the common man, especially when you come, as I say, about that PMS price and that commodity, day-to-day activities, and this exchange rate. And let him be united, unite all Nigerians, and make sure we go as Nigeria one nation.
With the dust now settled, Nigerians are expectant that the APC-led federal government will focus on fixing the economy and addressing other challenges confronting Nigeria and Nigerians. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
In security, the Katsina State government says it has teamed up with Zamfara State to address security challenges in the northwest region of the country, insisting that it is not ready to negotiate with bandits terrorizing the zone. The governor of the state, Dukorada, who disclosed this at the defense headquarters Abuja shortly after a closed-door meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said that the state government took the decision because past negotiations did not yield any positive result. Speaking to journalists after the meeting, Rada said although the government had resolved to use both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to solve the security challenges, it would first put pressure on the bandits till they willingly come out for negotiation rather than meeting any of them for that purpose. Earlier, the CDS urged the governors from security-challenged areas to always dialogue among themselves on how to permanently curtail insecurity in their respective domains. He pledged that the military high command will not relent in its effort to neutralize the criminals disturbing the peace of the zone and the country at large. Still in Katsina, the Nigerian Correctional Center Katsina State Command has unveiled the identity of the recaptured inmate who earlier escaped from its facility along with one other. This was contained in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the command, ASP Najibullah Idris. Recall that 2 inmates awaiting trial were confirmed to have sneaked out of the correctional center in Katsina, a situation that caused anxiety within and around Katsina metropolis. Away from Katsina, the police in Gombe have paraded the suspected killer of Aishatu Abubakar, a 58-year-old woman who was brutally murdered in Gombe State. The suspect, Mustafa Adamu Isa, has confessed to have acted alone while committing the crime. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
This is Mustafa Adamu Isa, popularly known as Abbati, an 18-year-old suspected killer of Aishatu Abubakar, a resident of Jekadafari in Gombe metropolis. The suspect allegedly killed the victim on the 20th of October 2023 at her residence in Jekadafari. According to police investigation, the suspect broke into the residence of the victim, who is his neighbor, claiming to be searching for a spanner she seized from him, but allegedly killed her after she asked him to leave.
The suspect mentioned above was arrested on October 22, 2023 at around 01:30 p.m. in connection to the case, following credible intelligence received by the investigative team, which was constituted by DC Operations CP Hayat Usman on behalf of the command.
The 18-year-old, who initially mentioned one Idris Abubakar as his accomplice, later confessed to committing the crime alone.
I really regretted my actions. I couldn't sleep since the incident happened. I am seeking for Allah's guidance.
The command also arrested 8 other suspects over alleged kidnapping, culpable homicide, armed robbery, among others. According to the police, all the suspects will be charged to court. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Another thug declared wanted by police in Kano State Police has surrendered himself to the command alongside 40 other thugs. According to the State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, the repentant thug also had convinced 40 of his allies to surrender their weapons. He explained that in a view of the development, the State Commissioner of Police, CP Mohammed Hussein Gumel, had directed that the repentant thugs should be properly profiled and reformed. Kano Police Command had in August declared Abba Barakita of Dorai headquarters, Nasser Abdullahi, known as Chile Maidoki of Lion Falwaya Kurna Makabarta quarters, and Hunter Daba of Kwanar Disu wanted, and Nasser Abdullahi had since surrendered himself to the command. The House of Representatives on Thursday mandated its Committee on Aviation to investigate the hike in international flight fares and poor service delivery by international airlines operating in Nigeria. The move is aimed at curbing unwholesome practices and ensure that flight fares charged by the international airlines are at par with that of the neighboring countries. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion by Moshood Olarewaju on need to curtail exorbitant airfares by international airlines in Nigeria. Now, leading the debate on the motion, Olarewaju noted that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, reported that as of 2022, 16 international airlines were operating in Nigeria. He also notes that in 2023, international passengers traffic has grown massively from the 3,503,692 that was recorded in 2022 and has continued to grow rapidly, especially with outbound international travelers. He, however, raised concerns that the international airlines are taking undue advantage of the surge in international passenger traffic to charge exorbitantly for flights and cashing out on Nigerians. The House of Representatives on Thursday summoned Azeez Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, to appear before it as part of its move to secure proper compensation and royalties for the late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba Mohbad, who died recently under controversial circumstances. The House, through its Committee on Justice, Youth and Legislative Compliance, also invited the manager to the late singer, Jiggy Adeoye, to an interactive session slated to hold next week Tuesday. Mohbad, an ex-signee of Naira Marley's record label, died on September 12 at the age of 27. The House had resolved to wade into the matter following the adoption of a motion moved by Babajimi Benson, the APC Lagos. Now, Benson had recalled for a review for relevant laws guiding the entertainment industry as well as copyright laws, while expressing concerns about the contract and agreement that entertainers are compelled to sign. In a later dated October 26, signed by the committee's clerk, Barrister Yusuf Ibrahim, the House said both Naira Marley and Mohbad's manager were needed to guide the committee on further legislative action. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll take a look at how school fees hike ignites withdrawal of school pupils in Borno. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
You are aware that some of your political opponents have alluded to your tenure in Ondo as something that was not democratic.
Of course, in big society, everybody cannot like you. There will be those who are undermining you and saying, even if you did the best of your performance, what you have done is to say you have satisfied your creator and the people. I bet you, in my memoirs, if I show you what General Babangida wrote when he visited us, was more than enough to prove that those people talking, they can talk. Because you can't lie to him. And I knew, because when I now went into full political activities, if I had been bad to them, they would never have allowed me.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Reactions continue to trail Supreme Court's ruling over 2023 presidential election. And Katsina State government insists no negotiation with bandits. Now moving on to more stories. Following Tuesday purported invasion of the Federal College of Forestry, Jericho in Ibadan, by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, the leadership of the National Association of the Nigerian Students, Zone D, have called for a thorough investigation into the alleged shooting on campus by the officials of the Anti-Corruption Agency. The coordinator for the Southwest Zone D of the students' body, Alao John, made the call when he led a peaceful protest to decry the action by the EFCC, which they described as insensitive, unprofessional and barbaric.
I don't even know what the EFCC officers came to do on campus. They were unable to explain in totality what brought them to the school. But to our greatest surprise, which we term to be sardonic, which we term to be satanic, they reinforced themselves while having the meeting with them. So getting down from the bottom we started hearing gunshots. I was at the school gate. If not for God, I would have been dead by now.
It's not that they locked them inside. The management was trying to calm the student down and was trying to intervene in what really happened yesterday. That was what happened. So the next thing we heard was gunshot from outside. So not that the students locked them inside. No, they were not locked inside. Maybe they called for reinforcements from outside. Maybe they thought they were in danger. That was why. But the team lead, which was A.S. Ibrahim yesterday, was coming down from the boardroom to come and talk to the student also. But on getting downstairs, the next thing we had was gunshots.
Authority yesterday, they rose up to task and they had a meeting with those people. We are about settling the matter for them to come and apologize to the Nigerian students so that they can leave. While we are talking to our students, so that they can just allow them to leave peacefully yesterday, peacefully. That was when we heard about the gunshot. So many guns were shot yesterday, more than 200 bullets were recovered.
The economic hardship experienced in the country has forced some Nigerians to withdraw their words from school following an increment in fees. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurutsi, who spoke to some parents in Maiduguri, said the current situation in the country is a struggle for survival for them first, while every other thing is secondary. Take a look.
The purpose of being educated is to ensure personal and national development and also make for better citizens in the country. It is also to help people earn a living through decent jobs. Over time, there have been global calls to make education accessible and affordable for children. However, the present economic state of the country and the hike in school fees is making it difficult for some parents to further their children's education. Abiso Marti, a father of 6, says he couldn't afford the reviewed fees and as such decided to withdraw them from school. He stressed that the growing economic hardship leaves him no choice as feeding is becoming difficult for his family. I had to withdraw them from school because of the high cost of school fees. We can't pay it. We used the money to feed, and food commodities are very expensive now. They will learn handwork for now until things get better.
I have 2 children who are now staying at home. They cannot even go to public school because of the high cost of living. This sort of palliative they are doing is not even affecting. It's not going direct to the parents. What are they doing to reduce the school fees of the children? It will increase the dropout of our children out of school. We cannot even feed them. Talk less of taking them to school.
Ina da yara dai wanda suke makaranta su guda 6 ne. To school fees nasu ya je 20-something thousand. Kaga 20-something.
Their school fees rose from 20,000 naira to over 30,000 naira. So I have to suspend their education for now because I don't make such kind of money at work. The situation is also similar in some unity schools in the country, as some parents admitted that they could not enroll their wards due to the hike of fees.
I have 2 children who are now staying at home. They cannot even go to public school because of the high cost of living.
Abiso and other parents are hoping that one day the economy will change for good to enable their children return to school and have a better future. Beatrice Kurutsi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
And now from the international scene, Israeli ground forces, backed by fire jets and drones, carried out a targeted raid overnight in the central Gaza Strip, the army said on Friday, as it prepares for a land invasion. The news comes a day after the U.S. military struck 2 facilities in eastern Syria used by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, and affiliated groups, said Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The United States launched 2 precision self-defense strikes against facilities in eastern Syria. The Pentagon claims those locations were used by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and affiliated groups. In a statement, the White House said it sent a message to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, warning against strikes on U.S. troops amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. More than 7,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's retaliatory airstrikes, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Iran's foreign minister said that Hamas is ready to release civilian prisoners to the Islamic Republic and that the international community must take responsibility for releasing 6,000 Palestinian prisoners held in Israel. And finally, in sports, despite recording a win and a draw in the last friendly games during the international break, their only game since the last FIFA World Rankings in September, Nigeria remained unmoved in the latest FIFA Men's Ranking for October. Though the Super Eagles gained 1.62 points in the month under review to take their total point to 1,490.48, they, however, maintained their position at 40th place. The Eagles played a 2-2 draw with Saudi Arabia in their first game of the 2 friendlies before beating Mozambique 3-2 in their other game. Still, the result did not have much effect on their position on the rankings table. Jose Pesiero's team witnessed a significant drop in the ranking in April, falling to the 40th following their December ranking of 35th in Africa. The major reason for this drop was suggested to be their non-participation in the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.